Today's video, we're going to talk about debt collector lawsuits, original creditor lawsuits, from an angle that a lot of people have asked me to do, which is from what people are experiencing when they are actually getting sued. That's one of the, I think, is really the root causes on why most people don't respond to debt collector lawsuits. And the solutions that I give you are going to be real solutions, concrete solutions that are tried and true. This is not something that's been made up from a book or something that I saw from someone else's video. These are actual solutions that we've utilized, number one, for myself when I was going through issues with debt collectors in the 1990s, and from helping thousands of our clients who have been sued by debt collectors. When I came up with this solution and tested it, and it started garnishing huge results for people when they were left out there in the cold because there was really no one out there that was helping people with these debt collector lawsuits. And my main goal, and I hope that this is a goal that you have, is number one, is that you don't want any unwanted surprises. Regardless of good or bad, I think that most of the time we think that bad things happen to us first. And so you don't want any surprises. You want to keep things steady with your household. You want to protect your money. You want to protect your assets. You don't want debt collectors dipping into your bank account. You don't want to make any drops in your current lifestyle. And you either want to maintain that or you want to improve your lifestyle. And my mission, my goal is to help you be able to do that. Now, something that I understand from reading the comments and listening to my staff talk to people is that a lot of people have a shock and disbelief when it comes to dealing with these debt collector lawsuits. They'll say things like, I can't believe that this is happening to me. I never thought that I'd ever be sued over a credit card debt because they charged it all. They got the money. I didn't even know that they could take me to court over this type of stuff. And so people feel totally blindsided. Sometimes they think that it's a scam, that the lawsuit is a scam. I got a live chat from someone today, and they said that when they got the court summons, that they actually balled it up and threw it in the trash. And then now, years later, and check this out, 15 years later, they went directly into his bank account and took $3,000. And when we looked at it, they got the judgment 15 years ago. So the whole time they were not able to collect any money. And then they got access to his bank account. He lives in the state of Texas. State of Texas does not allow wage garnishment out of paychecks. State of Texas does allow garnishment directly out your bank account. And he stated that they took $3,000 out of his bank account. So now that's the type of stuff that we want to avoid. I think that everybody here would agree on that. A lot of people report to me that they, they didn't know that they had to respond immediately. Like you're not even used to dealing with this type of stuff. And even though on the paperwork it says you have to respond, depending on your state, it could be 15 to 20 days or 15 to 30 days. They're not playing around with that. And a lot of people don't know that. They're like, well, what'll happen if I don't show up to court? Will it just go away? Sometimes people think that if they don't show up to court, that they won't be able to get a judgment. They will be able to get a judgment. When you don't show up to court, you're giving away all of your rights. You're giving away all of your rights, and they're going to be able to get a default judgment against you. And when you get a default judgment, just like I said, it's going to open them up to be able to do wage garnishment, depending on what state you live in, bank account garnishment, seizure of assets, and I've explained in other videos how they could do that. One live chat comment that I had, a person said, and also on YouTube, person had said, well, I'm on Social Security, I have a little pension, retirement money, they can't touch it, F them. That's exactly what their words were. And I said to them, you're 100% right. They cannot take your Social Security income, cannot take your pension money. But you need to notify them, because think about it from their point of view. Why would they sue you if they knew that they could not get any money from you? Why would they get a lawyer, expensive drawing up the documents, expensive filing it with the court, and then taking a case to a judge, taking up the judge's time for a case that they cannot legally do anything to collect any money on it? I get probably, not exaggerating it, 1 to 2 calls per week from people who were on Social Security, limited income, whose bank accounts got garnished. In another video, I had spoke about a personal injury, a person who had received money from a personal injury, and they took $18,000. That video was a while back. About $18,000 they took out of her account, and they can't even touch personal injury funds. But you got to look at it. This is why I tell people, you got to let them know your situation. If your funds are exempt, you need to call them up on the phone and tell them that your funds are exempt and you're not going to be able to pay the debt. At least they can stop the process, because this is what could happen. If they don't know that the funds are exempt, this is what they'll do. They'll go and get those funds. And you might be saying, well, they'll get the funds back. If your rent is due on the 1st, or your mortgage is due on the 1st, or your bills are due on the 1st, and you wake up on the 1st and they've taken your money from a bank account garnished, money that they are not legally able to take, but they can legally take it if they don't know. When you don't respond to the lawsuit, or you don't have any communications open to that lawsuit, they get the default judgment, and then they start the process of finding the funds. And this is how they find the funds. For banks, they'll just send out a feeler to every bank in your town. And it's a court order. So it's not like they're just sending a letter, oh, we want to get this private information about this individual. No, they're sending a court order that says that if this individual has any accounts, any assets in this bank, we want to be able to get them up to this amount. And they'll put the amount. If you don't have the full amount of the judgment, they'll take what they can, all of it, and then they'll come back, and when you put some more money in there, you take it again. That garnishment on that account is not released until 100% of that court-ordered garnishment is paid. So this is serious business. This is why you don't disregard this stuff. And if you find yourself in a situation, you need to immediately go to our website, thecreditrepairshop.com. If you find yourself where you got a default judgment, if you don't have a judgment yet, but you have a court summons, you need to go to summonmaster.com right now. And I'll tell you how to upload your documents so you can get a response made, because you don't want to get that default judgment. A lot of people feel overwhelmed, helpless. They don't know what to do next. Like a whole bunch of stuff is going on in their mind. The legal paperwork is like foreign, language to them. It's like, I don't understand what all of this stuff means. And a lot of people think that just the court system is just stacked against us anyways, and that it's expensive to fight back, and that you're not going to win regardless. And I'm here to tell you that none of that stuff is true. I understand the feelings, because I went through it myself, but none of that stuff is true. If you fight back, no matter what, if you fight back, you're going to educate yourself about the process. It's going to take away a lot of the fears, and then you could potentially get your case dismissed, and you'll have your power back, and you'll be able to save money. A lot of people get embarrassed. They don't want their family or their boss to know about it. Well, if you don't want your family or boss to know about it, you got to do something about it now. You can't let it linger. People feel bad about themselves because they made mistakes. I've made mistakes. Don't feel bad about past mistakes that you made, as long as you're proactive about doing something about it. You might feel humiliated that you even got into this situation. That's another thing another comment that I get a lot, is that I just can't even believe that I found myself in this situation. I really understand it, and let me tell you, being judged is a total, this is something that we all go through. Thinking that other people are judging us because of what we're going through. So don't let that hold you back. people think that, well, what's going to happen if I lose? They're going to take my paycheck. All my money's going to be gone. And bank account. Like a whole bunch of times people skip the work that needs to be done in between. You getting served a lawsuit, a debt collection lawsuit, and you losing, there's a whole bunch in between on what you can do. Don't focus on an outcome that hasn't happened. Don't focus on that. Focus on the work that needs to be done in the middle. The work that needs to be done in the middle is that you need to get a response created that can put you in the best position to potentially win your case. That's what you need to really be focused on right now. A lot of people get upset. They get angry. They're lying about what I owe. They didn't give me all the paperwork. They sold my debt. How can they do this to me? People feel like have these fears on the inside. They feel powerless against these big companies, these billion-dollar debt collection corporations, and it's like there's just everything is set up against me. People get confused. They're like, I know I might have owed something, but I don't owe this. That was what happened to me with my situation. They said that I owed $4,500, and I knew when I was in the United States Army at the age of 18 that no one was giving me a credit card that was $4,500. Nobody. I was only making $600 a month in the military. And so how is someone going to give me $4,500? So I was like, I don't even owe that amount. And then it's like, who are you if it's a debt collector? Who are you? And how did you even get this? Is this legit? What about, give me stuff from the original creditor to prove all of this stuff. That's what goes through our mind. But the problem is that you got to get it out of your mind and you got to do something about it. Remember, I said you get served and then you had that lawsuit. Got my picture here. You get served and then you had that lawsuit and you got to do something about it. What's in the middle is what you're going to be doing about it. A lot of people avoid it. They would be thinking like it's going to go away if I don't do nothing. I'll deal with it later, but there's a timeline that the court puts in place when they serve you. A lot of people get too stressed out and like, I just can't deal with this. To confront this lawsuit is just too much pain for me. I just hope that it just go away. There's nothing that I can do about it. And I'm here to tell you that you got to do something about it. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the solutions. Number one, if you're going to fight back against debt collector lawsuits, you can't panic. You got to respond. We can help you respond. We can help you respond fast, easy, with no court drama if you get it in to the plaintiff attorney early. If you hire an attorney to do this, and from our experience, not to say that every attorney is this way, from our experience, they do not put together a defense. And the reason, let me tell you the reason why. I'm not just gonna just throw that out there with with nothing to back it up. The reason why an attorney is not allowed to go into court and state things that the way that you would want it stated is because if they know for a fact something, they cannot go into court and say otherwise. So if let's just say, for example, here's a recent case that we just got dismissed. It was a previous default judgment case for $39,583.33. Now, this individual came to us and they did not file their response. So this right here proves that if they would have filed a response, which would have been a lot cheaper than having to have the case reopened and then get get the judge to dismiss it. It would have been a lot cheaper just to respond from the beginning the right way with the defense. But let me just tell you what would have made this case very hard for an attorney to take, because the documents, all of the documents, if you look at it from face value, any attorney would have stated that this individual, this client of ours would have owed $39,583.33. As a matter of fact, the judge believed it from the first go around because they gave them that judgment, the default judgment. By us looking at those documents, and even though some documents are from the creditor, and this was an original creditor, you can see here, Ford Motor Credit Company, LLC. From the original creditor, but there was an issue that we found within the an issue that we found within the documents is different for every case is going to be different. But an attorney would not have been able to pull up, would not be able to argue that dispute based on the fact that the other documents that were presented in court would have made it hard for the attorney to bring up the document that we brought up. Because this individual was pro se, they were representing themselves, they're not an officer of the court, they were allowed to present that evidence. And you can see from this right here, that judgment was reversed, $39,583.33. Just to have an attorney review for the potential would have cost upwards of $2,500 to even look at that. And that's not counting going into court and actually putting together everything to fight that case. Here we got other ones here. Look at these. $6,645, $12,910.28, $14,926.20, $5,849.46. And here goes some other cases that we got dismissed. So now, this is what you get with our service. Number one, we're going to stop all the stress. We're going to stop all the worries. No anxiety about losing your money. And we guarantee that you will not get a default judgment. And we're here to help you before, during, and after your case. We cannot guarantee the outcome of a case. No one can do that, not even an attorney. No attorneys can do it. And we can't do that for our services. We're just not allowed to do that. But you will get a fully formatted summons response that will avoid a default judgment and put you in a position to potentially win your case. And you can see from all of the different cases, there's even more. We didn't post them all on our website. We have them all the way up to now $140,000 case. Our biggest case was $100,000, little over $100,000. Now our newest case is $140,000 that we've helped an individual get that case dismissed. And you can go, I'll put the link below here. You can go and look at the services. You got two options. Option number one, we can take care of it for you. We'll create your response, email it back over with instructions if you just don't want to do anything. Option number two, I'm going to take you over to our other sister website. Option number two, you can go to summonsmaster.com, www.summonsmaster.com. Link is below this video. And what you can do is you can upload your summons. It needs to be one PDF file, one complete PDF file, uploaded into Summons Master. So what you do is you go to Summons Master. Right here, you'll be able to log in. If you don't have an account, it's free to set up an account. And then once to the account, it'll look just like this. So you'll upload your summons into Summons Master. All you have to do, let me get this right here. So all you have to do is one PDF file into Summons Master, and then you create your summons, either original creditor, very important, original creditor summons or debt collector summons. Debt collector is a debt collector who has purchased your debt. A debt collector has purchased your debt. Original creditor has a lawyer that is suing. Both of them have lawyers who are suing you, but the difference is that the original creditor is the plaintiff named on your case. The plaintiff is the original creditor. If it's a debt collector, it'll be a debt collector company like LVMV, Portfolio, Resurgent, Jefferson Capital, Velocity. Those companies would be named. You would choose a debt collector response. And then I have a little thing here so you can educate yourself on the differences. So once you create it, you put it in there, you hit generate with AI. Let me tell you the difference between you going to ChatGPT or some other place and trying to do this yourself is that this gives you certainty. What we've put together for both programs, if we do it for you or you go in here and you do it for yourself, this is tried and true solutions. Tried and true defenses to win your case and avoid default judgment. Like, I don't know how any other way to say it. So once you get that created, it's going to be fully formatted. And we have what I call human oversight. So for every summons response that is created, we have human oversight that will go in there and look at it to make sure that you did everything right. You can't beat that. So go to summonsmaster.com if you want to create it yourself, or you can go to thecreditrepairshop.com, and the link is below here, and pay for the summons. You'll see our pricing schedule, and pay for the summons, and we'll get that over to you with the instructions. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, you can go to summonsmaster.com, upload your debt validation letter, and it'll create an exclusive debt validation letter that will stop most debt collectors from coming after you. And we do have aftercare services with that. Thank you for your time. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com and summonsmaster.com.